here today. I'm here with Lou, one of my students here today. And I had a lot of emails recently of a comment I made a little while ago of why we don't spar here at our school, why we don't promote the idea of sparring, why sparring actually can be detrimental to your development process, developing your skill of Wing Chun. So I want to go over the idea of what it is to play the game of Wing Chun. Because remember, you always want to play your game. I don't care what this person does. He can be boxer, kickboxer, expert in any martial art that he's doing. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. The only thing he provides me is a target. My target is his center, his core. That's it. I don't care about anything else he's doing. So with that in mind, let's go over some of the basic ideas of what the Wing Chun game is. So, the first thing to understand the Wing Chun game is understanding how my arms are used to protect me. And all our motions in Wing Chun, it goes from out to in. Both my arms are going out to in to ultimately form this triangle. This triangle covers, protects my center line, while simultaneously I'm using this triangle to ultimately attack his center line. So that's why I always want to understand how my motions are acting to go in to cover my center line. So rule number 2 of understanding the game of Wing Chun is I always want my shoulders to be square to that target. Meaning I never want to fight at a side position here. The reason for that is if I have my shoulders square, I can have my body behind my arms equally, and it allows my arms to freely move within my triangle, being supported equally by my body. If I'm in a side position here, fight-wise, then I can have some body behind this arm, but I have no body behind this arm. Think about it. If you were to go push a car, push a lawnmower, you always have your shoulders square to whatever it is you're doing. Because being square and going forward is the most natural way to move the body. Think about it. Anytime you do any athletic action, I'm always going to be square to wherever I go. If I run, I'm always square going forward to the target. Same idea here, but coupled with the idea that I always want to be able to have my body behind my arms, and that's how I do that. So I never want to fight side position here. Then I can use my arms equally to protect the front of my body, the sides of my body. If I'm fighting in a side position here, I have no protection for the back. That means at that moment in time, if I want to use my left hand in this position, I have to make a big sweeping motion, and that allows him something else to counter. For that moment in time, I'm going to be fixed and committing my motion here. If he understands the game of Wing Chun from his end, he's going to be able to counter me before I'm going to be able to make that hit successful, or at least maybe even take that shot. So that brings me to rule number 3 of the basic understanding of Wing Chun. And that is probably the most important, or maybe the most misunderstood. And that is the idea of just going in. As soon as I'm in range, I have to close that gap and go in. That is a big, huge component of what we do in Wing Chun. I close the gap when I'm in range. Now, understanding what the range is. Meaning that if Lou's in a fighting position, I'm in a fighting position, I don't want to come in here and try to close the gap from this position. If I throw up my guard too early, I'm going to give him something to counter. And everybody's trying to counter everybody in most of the things that we do. So I never want to give him something to counter. So what is the range that I want to go into apply my Wing Chun? And the basic way to do that is I call just simple push range. Remember, like in the playground, you see 2 kids that come in here, I go, oh, push the guy here. Well, as soon as I'm in that 1-step push range, that's when I want to go in and make my motion. I don't want to come from here where I'm in like taking 2, 3, 4 steps and go in. If I do that, then again, like I said, I'm giving him something to counter. Now, why I don't want to spar? Because if I spar, I'm going to be breaking all 3 of those rules. Alright? I come in here, I'm in sparring mode. Let's say Luke's swinging his arms, he does some hook right here. What am I doing? Now my motion is going from in to out. Not playing the Wing Chun game. If I take my motion as going from in to out that way, then I'm going to be breaking rule number 2. Because I'm not going to be having my shoulders square to the target. And if I do that, I'm not going to be able to have my body behind that motion, breaking those rules. And then of course, I'll be breaking rule number 3. If I go in here and he's doing whatever attacks he's doing, I'm chasing out here, I'm chasing out here, chasing this one, chasing that one. Again, I'm not closing that gap. Ultimately, you're going to get hit. and then you're just going to be applying technique block. You're never going to be trying to develop the true motion blocking, which will allow you to adjust to that force. That's just taking a technique. Why that technique block is wrong to do, in my opinion, is you're taking a gamble that you're guessing to apply the correct technique, and you're taking an even bigger gamble that your technique can handle the force that this person is going to be applying to you. If this person, let's say Lou is Hulk Hogan, he all jacked up, got the 20-inch pythons going, there's no way me being a ripped 190 is going to be able to handle his brute strength by applying my technique, whether it's Wusao, Busao, whatever. But if I learn to go in, and then if he does whatever motion, then I can come in here and I can go with that motion. I come in and lop chop. I don't want to come in here and try to just lop this motion right there. It won't work. That's just technique block. That's how you take a big gamble. One, that you guess the correct technique to apply at that moment in time. And two, that your technique can actually handle the brute force that this opponent is going to be delivering at that moment in time. So, I hope this helps. Good luck.